Here is an interesting article from the Deccan Herald today. The Forgotten Path to Fluency. Why Reading Still Builds Better Communicators. The author, Aruna Parandhama, is an assistant professor at a Bengaluru-based college. In my cabin, a former student was visibly agitated. What happened? I asked. She paused before uttering this, which haunts me ever since. It is a shame that I don't communicate very well. She wanted a solution. She needed something that would work. Well, she wanted a workable deadline within which she could become a dynamic speaker. Can I learn to speak in 2 months? Why 2 months? I asked inquisitively. Placement and corporate internships start in half a month, she said. The above question is asked by thousands of students year after year. Behind it is a sad reality of the modern world. We've been raised to believe that there's a shortcut to everything we want to learn. A shortcut to being a good speaker, a shortcut to being a good reader, a shortcut to building a business, a shortcut to mastering a new skill. The internet has turned impatience into a cash-earning business. We're being sold the illusion that confidence is an app that can be downloaded for 99 Indian rupees. Most often, it is simply a sales pitch for a course offered by an exorbitantly priced entity. The seller wins. The buyer walks away with goodwill rather than expertise. That's not how language works. I don't read. Language learning is a gradual process. Mastery is lifelong. It isn't a performance, so it can't be compressed into a 2-month calendar. It is a skill that is built over time. It helps to be consistent in your practice. Each and every talk, each and every page that is read, every idea, each and every argument, and every encounter deposits itself in the reservoir from which we then speak quietly. So I posed a simple question to my student. What's it been like on your reading front lately? She smiled apologetically. I don't read. There, in one sentence, lay the answer to her problem. The Italian economist Vilfredo Pareto noted that a small percentage of the causes often account for a large portion of outcomes, a concept known as the Pareto principle. Though it is too soon to determine language learning as an 80-20 principle, it provides valuable insight. There's one habit that yields disproportionate returns. Reading. In modern times, among the 4 language skills, listening, speaking, reading, and writing, speaking has always garnered the most cultural currency. Elocution, confidence, and presentation are celebrated and sought after. Unfortunately, we have forgotten the one habit that gives all 3. Reading. A student who reads regularly improves his vocabulary, grasps grammar naturally, learns ideas, refines his critical thinking, and learns how arguments are constructed. The visible tip of an invisible iceberg is speaking. Below this are vocabulary, knowledge, critical thinking, curiosity, empathy, grammar, and perspective. All of them are fed by reading. Reading isn't the answer to all communication issues, but it solves many of them without a fuss. The latest ASER 2024 report offers a mixed picture. There has been an improvement in reading skills in rural India since the beginning of the pandemic, especially in early grades. However, the figures are still alarming. 25% of youth aged 14 to 18 years still cannot read a standard 2-class text fluently in their regional language. These are not just figures on literacy. They are precursors of future confidence, employment, and citizen engagement. The inability to read hinders young adults' ability to express themselves. The initial observations in communication coaching usually concern posture, eye contact, body language, and voice modulation. These certainly matter. Stand upright. Maintain a good stance. Minimize filler words. Slow your pace. Record yourself. Reflect. Repeat. All these are enhancements. Content is the basis for learning and mastering a language. The best orators are not necessarily those with pristine accents. They are people who have something of depth to say. Great things to speak of barely come from 30-second reels. Social media can't help you concentrate the way you can when you're reading long form. Newspaper is a teacher. A newspaper is one of the best teachers. Each day we are introduced to economics, politics, science, technology, diplomacy, culture, and ideas. If one can spare even as little as 15 minutes in the morning consistently, it will be a great start. And with regular efforts, the language gains will compound significantly. It helps us follow an argument, identify nuance, challenge assumptions, and think independently. Literature also serves a function, but one quite different from newspapers. Literature tells us how people work, while newspapers tell us how the world works. One gives knowledge, and the other fosters imagination. Engaging with both the newspaper and fiction or non-fiction books is an ideal balance that fuels language acquisition. You are what you eat. The same applies to reading. Each book has a sentence that stays with you. Each article provides an idea. Each careful thought adds a nuance to a view. Personality is the sum of experiences. There are no hacks for this. Microphone and personality development courses are not the answers to our communication problem. It starts with a chair, a book, a newspaper, or a book, and 30 minutes of uninterrupted time, each and every day. The phone can wait. Language acquisition and mastery will not. Before one can think of being fluent, one must resolve to become a reader. A nation that reads produces fluent speakers and nurtures thoughtful citizens capable of shaping conversations, communities, cultures, and the future.
I really enjoyed this and I hope that you guys will. I'll see you all in another video.